They say experience makes you a better spouse, but nobody tells you that the wrong kind of experience is exactly what ruins marriages before they even begin. Or maybe you've heard the other version. Your past doesn't matter. It's all part of your personal growth. Really? Because the people preaching this so-called wisdom look anything but grown. They look tired, bitter, and unfulfilled, shaping their identity around choices they secretly regret, and trying to convince the younger generation to walk the same dark path they did. Let's be fair. Yes, experience matters. Experience in handling finances, experience navigating conflict, experience balancing emotions and learning boundaries, experience making mistakes and growing from them. Those things actually make you wise. But when modern people say, I need experience first, they aren't talking about financial literacy or emotional maturity. They're talking about sleeping around. They were talking about feeding desires without standards and disguising it under the respectable name of experience. But that isn't growth. That's addiction with good marketing. That's casual flings dressed up as self-improvement. It's the oldest spiritual trap in the book. Let's expose the lies. Experience makes you a better lover. Experience makes you more emotionally ready. Experience helps you know what you want. If this were true, then the most experienced people today should be the most stable, the most secure, the most fulfilled, and the most ready for marriage. But they're not. They're the ones with the deepest trust issues, the lowest ability to bond, and the highest rates of breakups and chronic dissatisfaction. They're filled with jealousy shaped by past partners and carry trauma they call wisdom because healing is too painful. Science even backs this up. More sexual partners are linked to lower marital stability. A higher body count is correlated with a higher divorce risk. More hookup partners lead to weaker pair bonding. It's because novelty addiction rewires the brain just like a drug. And yet, these same people preach, experience makes you better. No, it doesn't. It makes you numb. It makes you compare. It makes you insecure and cynical. It makes you unable to bond with one person because your brain is now addicted to variety. Experience didn't make you better. It made you unstable. And this instability doesn't stay personal. It becomes cultural. It spreads. It creates a whole movement of people who defend their lifestyle, not the truth. They're protecting their past, not wisdom. They're protecting their ego, not reality. They cling to an ideology that gave them no accountability, no restraint, no discipline, and endless justification. So when you confront them with truth, they explode. They scream misogyny, sexist, purity culture. Not because you're wrong, but because you expose the lie they built their entire identity on. Truth hurts the most when your lifestyle depends on it being false. Look closely. Who preaches experience the loudest? It's often people who regret their past. It's influencers teaching you to get experience first. But notice, they're not married, not stable, and not fulfilled. They're not demonstrating the outcome they're preaching. Imagine taking marriage advice from people who've never had a successful one. Imagine taking directions from people who are still lost. Now let's uncover the spiritual layer. The enemy rarely says, be evil. He says, be experience. He doesn't say, destroy your future marriage. He says, you're young, try things. He twists sin into the language of self-improvement, using words like empowerment, growth, and liberation. It's the same trick from the Garden of Eden. This will make you wiser. He hasn't changed the strategy, just the branding. Here's the truth modern people don't want to hear. The experience they chase today is the regret they'll drown in tomorrow. This path leads to broken trust, constant comparison with exes, and an inability to stay loyal. It leads to a marriage where intimacy feels empty because you gave your deepest experiences to people who were never meant to keep them. This is why the most experienced people are the most cynical about love. Experience didn't prepare them. It poisoned them. If sexual experience really made people better, why are the most experienced people the most emotionally damaged, the most fearful of commitment, and the least satisfied in marriage? Because it does matter, and they know it. That's why they're angry, not at you, but at themselves, at their past, at their regrets. Your future spouse doesn't need you to be experienced. They need you to be whole, to be committed, to be loyal, to be able to love without the ghosts of your past whispering in your ear. So if you ever needed clarity, experience doesn't make you ready for marriage. Self-control does. Purity does. Discipline does. And the people who tell you otherwise are simply asking you to inherit their regrets. If you're ready to face more deeper truths, subscribe to Unfiltered, where we cut through the noise and expose the modern lies. Thanks for watching.